So here's the deal. You got to understand that practice makes perfect. All right, years ago, there's a basketball player, Allen Iverson. I don't know if you remember that guy. He just went a whole rant about practice, all right? His coach got on to him because I think they lost the playoff game, and the coach blamed it on them not practicing. And Allen just went in an interview, and he just went crazy about, he's getting on me about practice? We're not even talking about games here. He's talking about practice. Allen didn't understand the value of practice. So my challenging question to you is, are you allowing your frontline leaders to practice? All right? We want them to be great communicators. We want them to be great delegators, but we give them the information, but are we allowing them to practice? So I want to talk to you about developing a system and an environment that allows them to practice and have fun. All right? So here are the key ingredients that we've found over the last 2 years for successful, fun, exciting frontline leadership. We rolled this out with about 4 contractors just to test it out to see would it work. So number one is we started gamification. Anybody ever heard that word, gamification? Really, this is just fun. Thank you, man. We got some gamifications there. Gamification is finding a way to make fun and excitement out of information, out of learning, all right? And so you're finding ways to make it a competition in what you're doing and what you're teaching. So what we did was we started giving missions, time limits to do tasks, get things done, and it has been exciting for the field doing some of this stuff here. Number 2, we found that, hey, it's important to give rewards and achievements. So this is things you'll be surprised at what this can be. You know, using mobile platforms, these are things that sometimes don't even cost money. These are badges and stickers. You would be amazed at how foremen fight over this stuff right here. I had a foreman who wrote me a 5-page email about the competition we're in right now. He said, Mr. Commissioner, you know, he called me Mr. Commissioner, this is unfair, the rule, and I deserve these points, you know, because I turned my time sheet in on time. I mean, he went through a whole gamut. Started using all kind of big words like mayonnaise and hippopotamus. I'm like, I'm a football player. I don't understand those things, right? But it's exciting to see them get excited about doing work, right? And that's gamifying it. And then lastly, here's what we do. We begin to put them on teams. You know, because you're the leader, and sometimes you can't keep them accountable all the time. But their peers do a great job when they're on teams and they're competing against other teams. They do a great job of motivating and calling them. We had some players who weren't doing some of the trainings. I didn't have to call. The leader didn't have to call. The project manager didn't have to call. Other foremen who were on that team competing with them, they were doing the call. Like, hey, man, what's going on? We need points. We need you doing this, right? And so what are we doing, though? What are we doing here? We're gamifying company goals as well as those that have it all lifestyle. So things like date night. Foremen are getting points for going on date night. Purposefully planning that with time with their children. It has been amazing seeing the excitement that they have challenging each other with project goals, but at the same time, personal goals. So here's what let's go. So here's an interesting stat. As we know, as our workforce begins to change, we know that millennials now make up about, and this is an older stat, this is 2 years ago, 34% of the nation's workforce. But by 2020, we're talking about 50%, right? 50%. Now, understand this generation. This is a generation that has never really grown up without a smartphone, all right? You talk about gaming, they live and die by gaming. That's kind of how they've done it. And so I want to challenge you to say, hey, what can you do to implement some gaming ideas to excite as well as to motivate your frontline leaders? So what does that look like? Designing that looks like this. It's one, meeting with your executive team to kind of talk about some of the things that you want. That philosophy. What is that philosophy? What does that look like?